a song you could sing forever, and I wanted to rhyme and to bend phrase and time into something clever.
Hello. Kind of scary, isn't it? Okay, let's back it up there. Not quite so scary. Actually, I don't do this because I'm tired of wearing glasses, but I'm getting used to them. I have a feeling this is going to have to be the way it is. Anyway, I wasn't going to do any more Swedish videos after the first one, but I keep finding new things. I thought it was an issue with the fact that it went against my FMLA that I was fired for the reasons that they gave me, which was basically because of my illness. But I had an interesting conversation. Seems to me that I'm not the only person who has been fired from Swedish Medical Group who was on FMLA. What exactly does FMLA do? What is it? It's basically, it means they cannot count it against you if you are out because of your illness, if you are late because of your illness. They can't count it against you. And that's basically it. They can fire you for having symptoms of an illness at work. Apparently, it only protects as far as how many, as far as your attendance. That's what FMLA does. It protects you for basically going beyond what they would consider to be whatever their attendance guidelines. But if they don't like how your illness affects you at work, I suppose, like, if you're an epileptic and you have a seizure at work, they might not like that. They could fire you for that. And if you're on FMLA with epilepsy and you have a seizure, they can fire you for that because the FMLA does not cover how you are at work and how your illness affects you at work. So that isn't a protection against that. So it just seems to me rather odd. Although they've been firing a lot of people. I mean, I had somebody else point out to me, there's like so many people that were there that aren't there anymore. It's scary. Really scary. But it's just kind of a coincidence that the person that was fired just a little bit before I was fired was also on FMLA. Interesting. Now this is like, I don't know, about 6 months after they took away our flex time and made it, became really hard-nosed about attendance, about us being there at a certain time because the managers need to know when you're going to be at your desk because they're constantly needing to go to people's desks and ask them questions. I'm sorry, but taking away flex time for such a flimsy reason like that is absolutely ridiculous. But that's how Providence runs things. And it's so sad to see a good company like Swedish go. It's not even the same company anymore. But anyway, what I found out today was FMLA does not cover you for, they can pretty much fire anybody for having an illness at that company, whether they're on FMLA or not. However, it is discrimination to fire people who are on FMLA, basically discriminating against people on FMLA. So, discrimination. Interesting. I might just have to file a complaint against Swedish Medical Group for discriminating against me for my illness. So that's just what I found out tonight. And other interesting things. I've put up, I don't know about the second video I made, but the first video I made. Okay. Down at the bottom of the building where that office is a lobby, and there's couches in there. It's a big open lobby between the elevator bay and the doors. Apparently some people who work at Swedish, who are either on their lunch or on break, were down in the lobby watching my video, and they got in trouble for it. I guess Swedish thinks that they can control what people do and what people watch, even when they're not in the office and they're on break, you know? Wow. That's like, really? Except for the fact that I might lose my condo and I might lose my car, and I'm kind of sitting here going, I'm 50, almost 51 years old, and how am I going to get a job at my age that's going to replace my salary and all the seniority that I built up there, you know? Aside from all that, I don't miss the environment there. It was so unpleasant. It goes beyond the fact that they hired a bitch on wheels supervisor. Oh my God. It's not just that. It's like the whole attitude that back in the day when Swedish was Swedish, you just had this, there was more of a feeling like the average employee, their needs actually mattered, and their opinion and their input actually mattered and was, valued. Not anymore. Nobody has any. It's just like, well, this is the way it is. Too bad, so sad, you don't like it. Fuck you. It's just terrible. It's just such a crappy place to work now. The stress is just horrible. I've talked to people who are just going to work and keeping their heads down, hoping that they don't get noticed. I feel, it's just, anyway, I'm just glad to be away from the stress. I didn't realize how negative the stress was that they had built up for me working there, with the fact that they were blaming me for things that I couldn't help, until I got away from that environment. It's like, wow, one less thing in my life that's making me feel like shit all the time. You spend more time in your life at work than any other place, and if they're going to treat you like shit and they're going to treat you like you have no value, and and that's another thing. When I was talking to this company tonight. It's I'm trying to remember what it is. It had to do with the people who enforce FMLA. What she said was discriminating against people for, if you have an illness and they know you have an illness, aside from FMLA, if you have an illness that affects your job and you communicate to them that you need to have your workspace or your work environment changed to accommodate the illness so you can still be a productive employee, and they ignore that, that's discrimination. That is wrong, and that is what they did wrong. It has nothing to do with FMLA. It's that, it would be like somebody with carpal tunnel saying, I need a special thing for my wrists, and I need to do a different job where I'm not typing so much, and maybe I need to have my keyboard on a tray. And they said to that person, you know what, you got what equipment you get. We're not going to do special things for you. You're not going to get a special job where you can still work, to your fullest potential, because, sorry, but you're to blame because you have carpal tunnel, and you're just going to have to live with it. Can you imagine a company doing that to somebody with carpal tunnel? It's the same example I used before. It's like, so why when you're ill and you communicate your needs to a company that supposedly wants you to be a productive team member, they don't respond, they don't care, they don't do anything to accommodate you? It's ridiculous. It's like, really? Did you want me to fail? Is that it? That's what I feel like now. I feel like Swedish wanted me to fail, because they did not pay any heed to anything that I asked for to help make my performance better at that company. So that's all. I just thought it was really hysterical to find out that people were in the lobby watching my video and they got in trouble. Like, really? Big Brother's watching you. You know, are they going to start putting cameras in the bathroom next? Ooh, let's make sure the employees aren't reading magazines in those stalls. Let's start timing them up. That's what they should do. They should start putting cameras on the halls just before the bathroom door, so they can time. They can see when people go into the bathroom and when they come back out, and time how long they're in there. I mean, that's where it's going with that company. So, once again, glad to be away. Really kind of pissed off that they did what they did to me, and that I lost all my seniority and all my vacation time, and that I had that kick in the teeth after all that I did for that company. But that's the other thing, the people that were treating me like shit there, they weren't even there when I was pulling their asses out. You know, pulling United Healthcare out of the way it was, and I pulled TRICARE and Humana out of the pits too, and Cigna. None of them were there to see me before the depression really took hold of me. So, yeah, they basically got rid of all the people who did value me, and the people who are there now are just trying to get rid of all the FMLA people, and all the older employees, and all the people with seniority, and all the people that they have to pay more to replace them with people who they can pay less. That's my suspicion is what's going on. So anyway, this is probably my last video unless something good comes from the conversation about the discrimination and stuff like that, and I kind of doubt it, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So if you've been watching, thanks, bye.